My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. What I have here is the Tasmanian TOGR Pathfinder Mk II. This is a backpack that I've been testing out for most of the year here. Throughout the summer, going into the fall now. In fact, I have hundreds of miles of trail time with this backpack. In this episode, I'm going over the pros and cons, my thoughts, my experiences with it, so you can make up your own mind. Is this a product for you? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. To me, it doesn't matter. The Outdoor Gear Review is all about information, and that's it. So folks, let's go ahead and get the review started. With the Pathfinder Mk II, you may be wondering, what is this backpack? This is a tactical style backpack that's 80 liters. It's made from excellent materials, the quality is fantastic, and it is feature rich. And going straight into the stats for this backpack, you can find this in two different colors, coyote brown and olive green. I mentioned already that the materials are excellent, and they are. You're looking at a 700D Cordura, YKK zippers, and WJ hardware. The pack weighs 7.1 pounds empty, and it has a carry limit of roughly 55 pounds, and I will talk about this in more detail in just a moment. The dimensions for the pack here, 33 inches tall, 14 inches wide, and it's 9 inches deep. And with those details out of the way, let's take a look at the features of this backpack. Everyone, it is a very windy day here in the mountains of North Carolina. I'm using a different mic, so tell me how good the audio quality is. Hopefully it's blocking out most of the wind. We shall see. Anyways, folks, when it comes to this pack, as mentioned before, it is feature rich. At the top, you have 4 different straps, and you can attach anything that you want to up here. Underneath the lid, you have 2 YKK zippers with zipper pulls. The lid opens up, you have a pack cover, and a lot of space on top. You have 2 buckles in the front. The lid pulls back. And with the lid itself, it is free floating, so you can raise this up or lower it down, depending on just how full you have this pack stuffed. With the lid, not only can you raise it, but you can also detach it if you don't want to use it. On the bottom of the lid, you have an additional zippered compartment for a first aid kit or anything else. Across the top, you have a compression strap. The top of the pack here is expandable. You have a draw pull with cincher. Going down, you have a draw pull and cincher. Before going to the inside of the pack, let's keep looking at the features here on the outside. So you have a grab handle, you have some Velcro behind that for patches and so on. Below that handle, you have this pocket here, and this is an awesome feature. You have a zipper with zipper pull. This is connected to the compression straps on the sides. And on the sides of this pocket, you have some cordage so that anything that you put inside of this pocket can be secured. So let's say that you go out for a trip with a tarp, it rains during the night, the tarp is wet, you could stick that in this pocket and the water will drain out while keeping the rest of your gear dry. In truth, you could put just about anything you want to inside of this pocket. For an example, you could put a helmet inside of this and you can secure it. With the buckles that attach to the lid, you do have pole keepers or ice axe keepers or whatever you want to use these for. Going down, you have the sleeping bag compartment. You have 2 compression straps that go over the front of that and also down to the bottom. So you can attach a sleeping pad or maybe a tent to the bottom of this backpack if you want to. You have a cover that goes over the zipper. You have 2-way zippers. And inside of this compartment, you have a massive amount of space for sleeping bags and so on. You do have a divider between the sleeping bag compartment and the top compartment. Turning the bag to its side here, you have 2 compression straps, one at the top, one lower. You have a hydration pocket. And this is very good size. You could fit very large size water bottles inside of this pocket. Above that, you have PALS webbing for pouches and so on. And with that, there's quite a bit of expandability with this backpack. Flipping it over to the other side, you have the same features. Compression strap, webbing, hydration pocket. Up here, you also have a hydration port, and that's because this backpack is hydration bag compatible. Going to the back of the pack here, looking at the suspension system, up at the top, you have a grab handle. Going down, you have load lifters, sternum strap, waist belt. On the waist belt, you have webbing, so you can attach different pouches and so on. You also have tensioners with the waist belt, very aggressive lumbar support, along with back padding and shoulder straps. On the shoulder straps, you have a couple of loops. These are plastic. You do not have quick release buckles. With the V2 suspension system, this is adjustable. So you could raise this, you could lower it, depending on your torso length. Talking about the V2 suspension system, what you have on the inside here are 2 aluminum stays, and you also have 2 fiberglass poles, which help with weight distribution. Now, folks, let's go to the inside of the backpack. The first thing that you will see inside of this backpack is the hook and loop to support your hydration bladder. You do have a sleeve that's very good size. This backpack will support any size hydration bladder and any form factor. long and narrow, you have the wide ones, they will all work. Additionally, you have access to the aluminum stays, and that's pretty much it. Outside of that, what you have here is just a large size pocket. I almost forgot to mention this, folks, the price of this backpack. The retail price is $409, but at the time of filming, you can buy this from the TacSale website, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite sources for out-of-the-country military gear. And you can find it for $343, which is not a bad price for a tactical style backpack like this. All right, folks, now it's time to go over my pros and cons for the Pathfinder Mk II. First off, the quality of this backpack is second to none. It is excellent. Tasmanian TOGR makes incredibly good gear, and that trend continues with this backpack. Top-notch construction, excellent materials. There's no issues here. As far as durability goes, also top-notch. This pack has seen some things, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's scuffed up here and there, but the materials, they're not frayed, there's no loose threads. Everything with this backpack looks really, really good. The next pro that I have for this backpack is size. This is a very big backpack, 80 liters. Without a doubt, this is a big pack. It can hold a lot of gear. And that's something that you need to question. You need to ask yourself, do you need a backpack this big? Moving on, the torso length is adjustable. I love that feature. So if you're a smaller guy like myself, you can get this pack to fit. If you're a taller guy, again, it will fit. Talking about comfort here for a second, the suspension system is excellent. The padding is excellent. The waist belt, top notch. All in all, this is a very comfortable backpack for any sort of loadout that I've personally carried. Now, speaking of which, the most that I've carried in this backpack is right around 45 pounds, something like that. So at 45 pounds, this backpack carried that with ease. The V2 system is excellent. The padding here on the harness system and the waist belt is very, very thick. You have large amounts of padding for like the lumbar area and also for the back. Without a doubt, the weight distribution with the V2 system is excellent. When you have this pack on, it fits like a glove. As you can see here, there's very little wobble to the pack itself. And that's because this system is very well controlled. So, I mean, you could move, you could do what you need to, go over stumps, rocks, and the weight doesn't fly around, and that's not the case with all tactical style backpacks. So with this pack here, it's very well controlled. Ventilation with this pack, it's adequate for a pack of this type. As far as organizing your gear, there's quite a few pockets here. Overall though, it is a simple system. There's not so many pockets that you're going to lose your gear. And for myself, that's what I like in a backpack. Having a lid pocket, the main portion, the sleeping bag compartment, that's all good. The front pocket here is a top-notch feature. I've already spoken about this, but it really does come in handy. And it's one of those features that every outdoors person needs. They will find a use for this. And it could be as simple as like you're hiking up a hill, you're getting hot, you take off your jacket, and instead of having to open the pack up, you just shove it in there and it's secure. But it could be more complicated. You could go out for a trip, condensation's terrible that night, your tent is wet, you want to shove the fly in here, you can do so. There's a lot of potential uses for this front pocket, and it's an awesome, awesome feature. Next up, folks, the sleeping bag compartment is large. You could fit a wintertime sleeping bag inside of this with no problem. In fact, it's large enough to fit multiple sleeping bags. I like the fact that the company includes a pack cover. There are a ton of attachment points here, so you can attach all sorts of gear if you want to. You have the capability to attach pouches on the side of the pack and increase your loadout capability by quite a bit. The last of the pros that I have for this backpack include compression straps. You can really compress the loadout here, so you don't have any wobbling at all. Next, I like the looks of this backpack. Okay, now we need to move over to the cons, folks, because there are a few things that I want to point out here. To begin, everyone, Tasmanian TOGR oftentimes describes their packs as being built for military use. So far, with the packs that I've tested out, the products that I've personally used, I do not agree with that assessment. I would say that it's civilian grade, I would say that it's law enforcement grade, but this is not a military backpack. And there's one aspect to this pack that really drives that point home, and that's the V2 suspension system. That is rated for roughly 55 pounds. So automatically that discounts this pack for most military use. When it comes to a military backpack, they are designed for utility first, comfort second or third. Military packs are all about how much weight can you cram in that thing and can you get a soldier to carry it. This pack was developed with comfort in mind first, then came the features, then the loadout, the load limit, I should say. So 55 pounds for a military pack doesn't make any sense. But for a law enforcement pack, civilian pack, it does. Considering the fact that most military packs are designed to carry 100 pounds, this is far from that mark. Talking about the load limit for this pack, finding that information has not been easy. A few months ago, I was having a discussion with another viewer. He thought these packs were military grade, and that got me to thinking, what is the load limit for this pack? So it took me a ton of searching, but I found it. And I found that information on the Tasmanian TOGR website. Now, unfortunately, since then, that page has been removed, which is a shame. When I found the rating for the V2 system, it was talking about this system being introduced, and amongst this article, it stated 55 pounds. Unfortunately, I never thought that they would remove that article, but apparently they have. All that Tasmanian TOGR says is this. They say that it is designed for moderate to heavy loadouts, but what does that mean? That's useless information. So I will have to go with what I saw previously, 55 pounds. The next point that I need to mention isn't necessarily a con, it's just something that you have to keep in mind. This really belongs in the stats section, but this pack was designed for waists over 30 inches. So if you have a waist that's under 30, this pack will not work for you. Now, a true con for this pack is the sternum strap. It is rather short. Now folks, I'm not a big guy, and this is already maxed out. So if you're a larger individual, you're going to have to come up with something else because this is maxed out right here. In fact, I would prefer to have this a little bit wider, but you can't do that. So the sternum strap is really, really small for some reason. So with the pack on, you can see that this is a very large backpack, right? Now, because of the way that it has been designed, it's somewhat narrow and it's tall. And you can see here just how tall it is. No matter what your torso length is, no matter how tall you are, this pack is going to come into contact with the back of your head. And that's especially true if you're aggressive with the load lifters. As you pull these tight, you're pulling the top of the pack towards the back of your head. So as you're hiking along, your head will bump the back of the pack. The average male torso length is 20 inches, and this pack is over 33 inches tall. So for the majority of people, this is going to be an issue. You are going to have the pack right here at the back of your head. And that takes us over to my last con for this backpack, and that is weight. In truth, this is not much of a con because of the style of this backpack. Military style, tactical style, it goes hand in hand with weight. You want a backpack that's super strong, the Cordura materials, the YKK zippers, the good hardware. You want a backpack that's going to last you a very long time, go through the brush, not tear to pieces. Well, it's going to weigh something, right? And this pack does, 7.1 pounds. And that point right there, folks, takes us to the end of this episode, to the end of the review. I like this pack a lot. It is incredibly comfortable. It carries more weight than I ever want to put inside of it. Because of this size here, this really is more, in my opinion, a wintertime backpack, a cold weather backpack. 80 liters for the summertime doesn't make a whole lot of sense for myself. It may for you. I don't want to ever speak for anyone else. I'm just speaking for myself here. But for myself, 80 liters is quite a bit for summertime use, but going into the fall, going into the winter where you need more space, you have a bigger, thicker, heavier sleep system, you have more clothing, you have more gear, that's when you want the bigger pack. So with my testing so far with this backpack, it has not let me down at all. The quality is excellent. The strength of the materials is excellent. The durability is excellent. I love that external pouch. It really is awesome. There's expandability here, adaptability here, and the price is not bad in my opinion. My biggest issue with this pack is rather minor, and that's that it basically rubs the back of your head. At times that can be irritating, but at the same time that's somewhat of a trade-off for this style of pack. The way that it carries high up is incredibly comfortable. The loadout is extremely controlled, so it's a small trade-off. Personally, I'd rather have the controlled loadout and have my head rub the back of the pack every once in a while. It's not that big of a deal. Folks, that is it. That's my review of the Pathfinder Mk II Tasmanian TOGR pack. Make sure to comment down below, share your thoughts about this pack. What do you all think about it? What do you all think about the style? What do you all think about the looks? Tasmanian TOGR is one of those companies where everything I hear about them from you all has been positive. I have yet to hear a single negative report when it comes to their products or their backpacks. Now, speaking of which, I am excited to see what else they make. I'm going to take a look on the internet, do some researching, and find some additional Tasmanian TOGR gear to review. If you happen to have a request, pop it down below. And at that point, we're done. Everyone take care, strength and honor, be safe, be good. I will see you all on the flip side. Before you leave, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. It helps. Strength and honor. Bye, everybody.